Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Good morning, Los Angeles. Welcome to KTLA. It is October 9th, Monday morning, brisk Monday morning. Not going to lie to you guys, the weather out here is brisk. Not going to sugarcoat it. Yeah, man. Fresh off a nice little weekend with the fam. My little dude T killed it in baseball. 3 for 3, 3 doubles, 6 strikeouts. He's like Ohtani, but half Mexican, so that's cool. Went to the circus. We'll talk about that. I'm firing the kid. Circus has hurt my feelings. You see that circus over off Topanga? There's a circus over off Topanga, and wifey wanted to take the fam there. We do pumpkin patches all day. She's like, the circus. I thought it was gonna be like a Halloween vibe, but it was just straight up circus. It's a family-ran, family-owned circus. Like brothers, cousins, mom, dad. They're selling the popcorn before you walk in. They're selling the tickets. Then they get in there. They're on motorcycles. I was just like, man, especially the motorcycle. It's hard to describe. It's like a ball. It's a cage. And then these guys get in little motorcycles, and they're going like around and around, and there's a girl in the middle. Oh, okay. And you're like, I don't know how they're going to do this. And then another dude comes out, you're like, 2. And then, when you're watching porn, you're like, there's no way that's going to fit. And then you're like, what? Another giant wiener? What? Another? That's how this was. It was just, I was like, man, you guys need to, stop. This isn't worth the money. Please stop. It was so nerve-wracking. The anxiety was insane. Good show, though. Good show. Kids loved it. Good show. We sat next to Tori Spelling there. Yep, Tori Spelling was there. She's super pretty in person, man. Like if you look at like the TMZ and stuff like that, she was like homeless or whatever, but now she's kind of
homeless.
She was like living on a motel or something. She went through a divorce with the kiddos. She walked down. I was like, oh, that's a pretty looking lady. People are hating on her. Outside that though, man, just chilling. Fly to Sacramento on Friday to pick up the whip, the 1,000 horsepower at the crank. It's actually gonna be around 1,100 at the crank, TRX at Overkill. So I fly up there on Friday with the kiddo. Big J Schaub's meeting us up there and the film crew, so it should be interesting, man. But the first episode will drop soon once we get that footage. So excited for you guys to see it. Can't wait to have my truck back. I'm missing it hardcore right now. Super hardcore. Let's get into the fight game. So you had some fights happen over the weekend. By far the biggest takeaway from the fight night. Not a bad fight night. They're competing with college football, so I'm curious on the viewership there. But Bobby Green beating Grant Dawson, who's ranked number 10, was by far the biggest surprise of the night, especially in 33 seconds.
Huge underdog, yeah.
Grant Dawson, I think, won 10 in a row. He's won 10 in a row, undefeated in the UFC. Yeah, look at that, dude.
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, including outside the UFC, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fights in a row, 1 draw, and then fights Vet and Bobby Green, who doesn't give a flying crap about his win streak. And he said, "Oh, you come from the Dana White Contender Series, and you're the Golden Boy. Check this out." And it's weird because it wasn't like we've seen harder shots.
It looked weird,
a lot of it is it's early. So the guys aren't conditioned. So you'll see some. I bet Dawson could eat that shot in the second or third round, or even later in the first. When it's early and you get hit like that, sometimes it takes a while to get the body to recognize you're in a fist fight. So sometimes it can drop you if you're not ready to go there. Tough one for Dawson. Tough one. He'll bounce back. The kid's a savage, but Bobby Green's just doing the damn thing. Bobby Green's always that guy in DC. Alluded to it in the broadcast where he always gets there, and then he loses. Loses, right? Mm-hmm. So he's coming off a pretty tasty little run here. The Tony Ferguson win, which, it's Tony got performance of the night, and they give him Grant Dawson. He beats him. So you're on a 2-fight win streak here. Tony Ferguson, obviously walking zombie legend. And then Grant Dawson, young line, who's won freaking 10 fights in a row, ranked number 10 in the world. You beat him. So a great submission win over Tony Ferguson, and now a knockout over a young line who's ranked number 10. Bobby Green got some more work to do. Got such a vet, dude. Such a vet. Rest of the card was whatever. Bellator 300. Is it their last one? I don't know if their last one, but if it is, it's a good way to go out. Liz Carmouche with the leg kicks. That fight was a little lackadaisical. Chris Cyborg Cat Zingano. That one was also weird, right?
All the fights on Bellator felt a little weird. Not all of them, but the main ones. Yeah.
You're talking about the main card? Just 3 fights? Well, the main event didn't.
No, not the main. Okay, so that was 100%. But
So you mean just the 2 fights?
Cyborg and Carmouche, it looked weird.
What do you
That's all I'm
think?
saying. It just looks weird.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not saying
it
that-
was like set up.
But Liz Carmouche and Lima Lay McFarland, they're both homies, right? They're friends.
Yeah.
They train together. It just looked weird. I don't know. I saw the kick. I saw the replay of the kick. It's
But
fine.
she was investing leg kicks all night long.
Yeah.
So I don't
But
have
it
an
just
issue
looked
with
weird.
that.
I don't know.
I don't think it looked weird. I don't think it was weird. I mean, maybe the stoppage, the way, but those leg kicks suck, dude.
And the Cyborgs and Gano was kind of
The Cyborg
weird.
Cat one, the way she kind of crumbled up there at the end, then was mad it was stopped, and then Chris went over to be cool, and Cat was not cool. Yeah. Again, I don't think it's the last Bellator like a lot of people out there are saying. They obviously have one planned, Bellator 301, and they even have fights after that. Here's the thing with Bellator, with PFL, all this stuff. It's not good that Bellator is going away. They're up for sale, and it sounds like the PFL is going to buy them with all that Saudi money. Like I've alluded to before on the show, it's not good, guys. This is not a good thing that Bellator is going away. You as a young fighter coming up in the rankings, same as I alluded to last week too with boxing, with HBO not having boxing, Showtime not having boxing, ESPN still kind of in the game, but you have these one-offs. It's not good for the growth of the sport. If you're a young boxer, if you're a young mixed martial artist, having options is the way to go. Before, in boxing, it's completely different, but when you get to the UFC, you better be ready to go. Well, if all you have is LFA or your local shows to get ready for, you're going to see a lot more guys losing when they come into the UFC. The talent pool is so heavy in the UFC. There's so much talent, 1 through 80 in every weight division. You don't want to learn how to navigate the waters of professional sports getting to the professional level. So it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. It's no different than NFL. What screws them is when you're seeing these young quarterbacks, because of the contracts and because they can get out of the deal in 2 years or 3 years. So the teams are forced to play these rookie quarterbacks who probably shouldn't be playing right away. Because in 3 years, if they do well, they can just demand all the money. So the team's like, all right, well, let's see what we got. Instead of back in the day, you see like Aaron Rodgers who sat behind Brett Favre. You see guys that can sit, learn the game, see the actual speed, the development of the offense, and then come out and perform. But now it's like, better be ready to go. Better go from University of Alabama or University of Colorado straight to the freaking starting for the Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, Green Bay Packers. It's like there's no lead time now. You have to perform right away. It's not good. It's not the way professional sports should work. There's those outliers who can get it done, but as far as the growth of all professional sports, you need these feeder leagues. You need these other leagues like the Bellators, like the PFLs, like the Strike Forces of the world. You have one championship who competes with the UFC, but they're so big international. They're so big in Asia. So you have one championship of UFC. That's it. And so those Bellators are great for guys. Also, as far as negotiating going, Bellator's going to be this, PFL's going to give me this, UFC's going to give me this, so you can pit them against each other. You want competition, so it's not good for the game that Bellator's going away. It's not good for the game if PFL doesn't get bigger, So right now you just have one championship, UFC. It's not good for fighters, and there's a lot of fighters out there. So we'll see, man. It's also, I think this is part of the problem, and we're gonna get to it with Logan Paul and Dillon Danis, and you have the Jake Pauls of the world and KSIs and the Tommy Fury who's now into the influencer boxing stuff, but part of the reason why they're so big, and because there's a lane in fighting for these YouTubers like the Logan Paul and Jake Pauls of the world, is because of the bad business by these other leagues. So you have the Nate Diaz's who spent their entire body of work in a big promotion like UFC. They're legends. They've become these mythical creatures, but they can't ride off in the sunset. So they look for a Dillon Danis fight, a Logan Paul fight, a Jake Paul fight, so they can get their nuts, so they can get these big paydays. The reason why that's so big now is because of the lack of pay, the lack of leadership, the lack of structure as far as the UFC, PFL, One Championship goes. That's why these things are becoming successful and they become as big as they are. And the young kids are tuning into the Logan Pauls and the Jake Pauls of the world. And they're going to tune into Logan Paul and Dillon Danis and think that's the same as a Canelo versus Charlo fight. That's what we're dealing with. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Where it's a bad thing is because you're getting this new young audience tuning into fighting, which is all good. As long as it's tuning into fighting, that's all I care about. But it's not the same as a Canelo fight. It's not the same as the Izzy fight, Sean Strickland. You're not getting the highest level of competition. You're not getting elite athletes competing, and you're paying for it. So it's a double-edged sword, because also with these kids tuning into it, what Logan Paul and Jake Paul and KSI have done to the fight game now is flipped it on its head, because Logan Paul suing Dillon Danis before their fight sets a horrible standard, saying
His girl. So just, yeah.
I'm sure he has
I
something
know
to do
you're, I
with
know
it.
you're saying, but yeah.
Technically, it's his team.
Yeah.
Logan is behind it. So his girl's suing. There's a cease and desist. The issue with that is that opens up a world of issues for fighters, because now I don't know who would do it in the UFC and be taken serious, but now imagine if Conor McGregor, imagine if Khabib sued each other before the fight. You'd be like, what? What are we doing? What? Imagine if Sean Strickland says some wild stuff. Imagine if he gets sued. Imagine if Bryce Mitchell, whoever he fights next, they want to sue him over, fake information. I'm not saying what he's saying is fake. I'm just saying there could be a road to that. So it's good that Logan and Jake are bringing all these eyeballs. It's bad that some of the lanes that they're going down, and not necessarily Jake. With Logan, who, buddy, I'll be straight up honest, Logan, who I do support, love Dillon Danis too. The first rule of Fight Club is we don't sue each other. The first rule of Fight Club is we don't sue each other, and we know, granted, maybe he crossed the line, but we know it's actually going to equal more pay at the end of the day and more eyeballs going into the fight. Because if you're Dillon Danis and you get the Logan Paul fight and you're sitting around with your management going, how are we going to sell this fight? Well, we can't sell this fight off what he did in the Floyd Mayweather fight. He lost that fight. We can't say, technically his boxing, his footwork, we can't really do that. Can't allude to the KSI fight. Can't go to the other YouTuber they lost to. So we can't knock his fighting skills. There's not much meat on the bone there. So what else can we do? All right, well, we're in this YouTube world. We're going to have to make it personal. Okay, well, we can go for his, how he kind of screwed people over with the, what was it? The Bitcoin or crypto stuff. You could go down that, but that gets hairy and it gets in the murky in the waters, and the common fan who's not balls deep into Logan Paul doesn't know what you're talking about. That's not going to work. What else can we do? Well, we can go to the Japanese forest suicide thing. That's old news. We've moved on from that. What else can we do? Go for his girl. All right. There might be something with that. She's a public figure. Okay. Might be something with that. Apparently she slept with a lot of guys. Okay. Might be something to that. So in order to sell the fight, Dillon did exactly what he was supposed to do, and now you're getting sued for it. And my question with this is, who has the majority of the shares of this fight, who's going to benefit the most off this fight being bought? Logan Paul.
Yep.
Dillon Danis doesn't, according to his face-off, doesn't have a portion of the pay-per-view sales. He's getting a flat fee. He does not get a portion of the sales. He might have said that on Flagrant, but he doesn't get a pay-per-view percentage. He gets a flat fee. So either more to it, that only helps Logan. Because whether you hate Logan, so you're tuning to watch him lose, or you hate Dillon Danis, and you're tuning to watch him lose, or maybe you're kind of in the middle on both of them, but you're tuning in because you've seen this bad blood. You've seen this bad blood not because of Logan, because Dillon Danis. Logan's fans are going to tune in no matter what. He could be playing freaking pickleball and still get the same views. They just decided to go on this crazy road of fighting, which is insane. More kudos to them. But again, I don't know how far it goes, what Dillon did and some of the stuff that he did. What I do know is the first rule of Fight Club is you don't sue each other. You don't sue each other. You don't talk about practice. That's just what we do. So outside of this, let's say they weren't fighting and Dillon was doing this. Okay, now I see defamation. He's going after your girl, your fiance. That makes sense. That's fine. But if as soon as you sign the contract to fight, you make him pay with your fist, not with your lawyers, not with your money, through your fist. That's why you're fighting. Now, the Logan Paul fans can't stand Dillon for doing this. Now you get to watch the guy that you love punch the other guy in the face. Dim the rules. That's how this goes. Nobody wins when you sue. Nobody. A judge might say this guy wins. You both lose. When parents get divorced, they bring in lawyers. Everybody loses. Mom loses. Dad loses. The kids definitely lose. Because the only people that make money, the only people that win in a court case are the lawyers. They're both getting money. The defense and the prosecution, they're all getting money. The only people that don't make money are the actual victims of this. So for Logan, again, I'd have to talk to Logan. I don't know at what extent this goes to where Dillon, obviously he had some horrible video or whatever. I don't know what's going on. He didn't post that. Thank God. I don't like that they're going down this road in any facet. All I'm saying is I sympathize with Dillon. If I'm going to sell a fight, I can't go based off his fighting credentials. So what else are we going to do to sell this thing? What else are we going to do to get people to tune in? We're going to go for his personal life. We're going to go for his fiance, who is a public figure who is very famous. And then Logan goes, I don't like that. I'm suing you. Well, now I'm not as interested in the fight. If you hate that, beat him up. You know how many people I wish I could just beat up and then make money to do it? That's how you win, dude, by punching him in the face, not by hurting his pockets. That's what I don't like. No matter what he did, you setting this standard that it's okay to sue another fighter and hyping up a fight sets a horrible standard, especially for these younger viewers who go, oh, man, if you cross the line, you might get sued. Now, Logan's the bigger dog here, has all the money in the world, and that's how these lawsuits work. He's just going to keep coming at him. His girl has a ton of money. Keep coming at him. And Jake Paul said on, I think it was his podcast where he had Logan on, he goes, I've done my research. I'd estimate Dillon has $60,000. Completely off. He's way off. You didn't do your research, bud. He has a lot more money than that. Even that being said, again, we're going down a dangerous road when it's about this guy has more money, so he's going to sue this guy. But you've already agreed to fight each other. So what you're doing is all this buildup with all this frustration. The fans aren't like, yeah, sue him and take his money. That's going to make us so happy. Nobody, even Logan Paul fans are like, nah, we don't like that. No, punch him in the face. That's what we want. First rule of Fight Club is you don't sue each other if you've agreed to fight each other. You just don't, man. Dim the rules since day one. Dim the rules. Can you imagine if this was the norm and Mike Tyson was when Mike Tyson was young, he said some wild shit. I'm going to eat your children. I'm going to make you love me.
I'm going to fuck you till you love me. Something like that, yeah.
Hey, language.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
We're live, man. Come on, dude. The point is, he said some crazy stuff. We all know that one, but you screwed us. But imagine if he got sued.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? Imagine if your favorite NFL team sued the other team because they said stuff they don't. What? In the contract, whether it's UFC, PFL, One Championship, WBCO boxing, whatever it is, in the contract said you're not allowed to sue under any terms. You cannot sue. If you've both signed a fight, you can't sue. I don't care how personal it gets, you can't sue. Now, after the fist fight, if it continues, do your thing. You're not under contract with us. Do your thing. So if this fight happens Saturday, let's say Dillon knocks him out, and then posts that video and keeps going with it, okay, Logan, get his ass. Now it's defamation out. But if you've agreed to fist fight another man in a ring, you cannot sue. That's just not what we do. And I didn't mean to rhyme there. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. It's just what you just can't. It's just not. It doesn't make this fun for us anymore. It doesn't make it fun because now Dillon Danis, whether you think he's gonna win or lose, let's say he wins on Saturday, that purse is gonna go to lawyers who none of us like. Nobody likes a lawyer. They all suck. Brilliant minds. You need them sometimes, but they're all sharks, dude. All lawyers are fucking sharks. And they cost a ton of money. Now, when you're watching the fight, you're rooting for Dillon, but what are you rooting for? Well, if he wins, he really doesn't win. I guess he wins as far as social media goes, which we know isn't real. He wins, and we go, okay, now you know his person can go to fighting Logan Paul in court, and he's probably going to lose, I would assume. Logan has some smart people around him. They're not just going to throw a cease and desist, whether it's Logan or his girl. They're not just going to throw that out there and sue him and have no case. That's not. He has smart people around him. So, yeah, Dillon might win Saturday, but eventually he's going to lose. He'll win online. That doesn't pay your bills, and that sucks. This is actually hurting the views. This makes me less interested in the fight. No matter what he did, it makes me less interested in the fight. It's a shame. I wish Logan didn't do this. But again, they don't come from the same cut that most, and I don't want to say Logan's not a real fighter. Compared to the UFC guys, compared to the guys who come up from the ranks, obviously he's different. He didn't walk through that fire. We know this. It's like baseball rules. We know this. Logan didn't come from that world. So he didn't even think about it. I'm going to sue this guy. His team's like, yeah, get him. His team doesn't come from the fight world. Yeah, the hell yeah, that's the move. Little does he know, in the fight game, we're all going, damn, dude. All right, now we're out. The legit fight fans are going, now we're out. We're out. This is not what we do. It's not what we do, man. In the fight game, we don't sue each other. And now, again, fight happens on Saturday. Somebody gets knocked out. This continues. Do your thing. More power to you. But leading up to the fight, now we know that the man's going to be sued and probably lose. And if he wins, his purse is guaranteed if he shows. Well, now it's a bummer. Here's the other thing you got to think about. And Dillon Danis has alluded to this. I think he talked about it on Schultz's show. He goes, why can't I choke him out? And Akash goes, because it's a boxing match. He goes, okay, why can't I choke him out? If you don't think Dillon Danis is crazy enough to choke Logan Paul unconscious because he knows he's going to lose in court and lose all his money, he has nothing to lose. If Dillon Danis goes in there and goes, all right, I'm going to box him. If for whatever reason I can't land, it's not going well, I'm going to choke him out unconscious. Just for the hell of it. If you don't think Dillon Danis is capable of that, you don't know Dillon Danis. I could definitely see him doing that. 100%. He does not play by your rules. Neither does Logan. So for you guys to think that Saturday night's just going to be a boxing match, I don't think it's far-fetched to say Dillon's going to do some wild crap Saturday night. Where if it's going south, he's going to ankle lock him, choke him out. And Logan's security, they think they're going to be quick enough again. They're not. And that's going to go viral. Again, Dillon's going to win on Saturday night, but he's going to lose all of his money in court case. And I guarantee you he'll get sued for that. I don't think Dillon cares. He's a wild boy. I texted Dillon on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. he did an episode with Schulte on Flagrant, and he talks about losing his best friend, who was his roommate. Talks about getting kicked out of Marcelo Garcia's gym. He talks about all this stuff, losing his dad, turning towards alcohol, turning towards drugs, and getting through it, going cold turkey. Now he's sober. Dude, it's like, that's it. We know he's the ultimate troll, and that's what Logan signed up for, even though he's suing him now. We know he's the ultimate troll, but that side of Dillon, that's it. So when people go, you defend Dillon, I like Dillon. I've seen that Dillon. I like that guy. The troll, I don't take any of that serious. But if you sign up for a fight for him, a fight to fight him, of course that's what you're going to get, dude. And he's going to do it by any means necessary. And you can't sue him. That's like buying a pit bull and then being pissed that it's super athletic and fast. What? You bought it. Then you take it to the dog park and it's freaking out. It's dog aggressive. Yeah, man. It came from a different background. It's not a lab. If you want a lab, agree to fight a lab. If you're fighting a pit bull, don't be upset when the pit bull does pit bull shit. You can't sue him. Now after, do your thing. But before the fight, we can't sue him. Even if you were going to sue him, let us know after the fight. Hey, this went too far. He's continuing to harass my fiance. Oh, then I'm with you. But leading up to the fight, dude, this is what you asked for, Logan.
So looking at his record, Dillon, he hasn't fought since 2019, yet he's like in the news like crazy.
He always is. That's his thing.
So that's what, he's bringing that much eyeballs to the table.
Yeah, that's the thing. This, as far as breaking this fight down, like we would in like a big fight, like, like Fury Francis or, Makachev, Charles Oliveira. This can be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. It's a tough one. What do you base it off of? Neither one of them have fought in a hot second. Logan hasn't fought since how long? Since Floyd?
Yeah, right.
Both of them haven't fought in over 1,000 days.
What? 2021 for Floyd Mayweather.
June 2021. So they both fought about the same. So one fought in June 2021. It's been a hot second. Well, the reason that's below that, Chin, is because one's an exhibition, one's a professional.
Gotcha. Yeah, so KSI 2019 and then Floyd in 2021.
2021, and when was Dillon's last fight?
2019, 4 years.
It's been a hot second and 2 knee surgeries.
That's another big thing, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're going to talk about this fight, get rid of all the drama and stuff like that, get rid of all the YouTube stuff, and just talk about straight up fight science here. I mean, athletically, Logan's a lot more athletic.
Yeah.
As far as legit competition, Dillon's way more qualified. You look at, 4-time world champion jiu-jitsu, as a brown belt, compete at black belt, compete in ADCC. He's a lot more accomplished. He's been in there with Gordon Ryan, Jake Shields, some Joe Luazon. He's been in there, some monsters. But it's just jiu-jitsu. He's never been known as a striker. He also has 2 wins via submission in Bellator. It's high-level stuff, man. Again, it's this is tough to call. It's high-level stuff. He comes from a more established martial arts background with his jiu-jitsu, competing in Bellator, competing in ADCC, being a world champion in jiu-jitsu. Then you look at Logan, he's obviously been in bigger entertainment spectacles as far as, he did fight Floyd Mayweather, who's a smaller boxer, but that's a lot of pressure. And then he does WWE, which isn't real, but it's still an athletic event.
Yeah, he did really good.
And there's a lot of eyeballs. I mean, you tend to side towards Logan on this?
Yeah.
Right?
I would. Yeah.
I find myself rooting for Dillon a little bit just because of all the bullshit he's been through. You see, he's sober now. There's a good person in there, Mm-hmm. Who could call this fight, though? I don't know. I'm excited for it, though. Are you guys?
I mean, if you're putting money on it, you're putting it on Logan, right?
No, because the odds. Go to the odds.
Oh, okay.
Logan has to be a minus 300, minus 400.
Hold on one sec.
Now, they did agree if Dillon beats him, he'll fight him in MMA, I think.
So
Minus
minus 450 for Logan, plus 330 for Dillon.
What's this? Paul versus Danis preview. Who will win? Go down. So the Paul brothers are big dudes, and in a sloppy boxing match, Logan's size will be his biggest asset. Paul owns a 1.5 reach, 1.5 inch reach advantage over the shorter Danis. That doesn't matter at their level.
But
It matters in big time competition.
And this is odd.
In tight, though, Paul's a disaster. His long, strong arms will help when he blasts upper. Well, this breakdown is atrocious. So they think because he has a longer reach in tight quarters, it's going to matter. But his technique versus Mayweather is atrocious. More often than not, Paul saw red and swung his arms wildly, attacking a shelled-up Mayweather with awkward swiping punches. And they think that's going to be different here, okay? Again, Paul is a larger man than Danis, and he's fought more recently and lives what I would assume is a far healthier lifestyle. That's all.
Yeah, we don't know.
Neither do they.
Yeah.
If I'm betting Paul, I do it by KO or TKO. The ought to reduce the chalk, but remain how to beat Dillon Danis. How to bet Dillon Danis. If Danis actually makes weight and shows up the fight, I think he will. He's sunk. The 20-year-old once a professional fighter, and his 2 submission Bellator says she's quality grappling skills. But when the ground game is an option, things can get ugly. As Nate Diaz, how he felt with heavy gloves and a slugger in front of him. If you're betting Danis, drug test yourself immediately.
Okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the odds are
The odds are
right here.
minus 450 for Logan.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, those odds at plus 330 is not terrible. Here's the thing. Neither one of them are great boxers. Neither one of them are like, so at this level, to bet on the dogs is not a terrible idea. This breakdown's so fucking bad. It's so bad. Excuse my language. It's so bad. They're just off. Clearly, they're Logan Paul fans, But to bet on a guy in Dillon Danis who's plus 330, who has legit martial arts background, not terrible.
But punching, though, I don't know. Because Paul did last with Floyd.
I think no matter if you take Logan or Dillon, it won't matter because Dillon's going to do something crazy and it's going to throw all this out the window. My prediction is Dillon isn't having success on the feet and is just like F this
goes crazy
and chokes him out. Or at least attempts to, and security jumps in and they stop the fight. That's what I think happens.
Yeah.
Then you have KSI, Tommy Fury.
Who's not being talked about at all. Which
At
is
all.
crazy.
Because of who? Dillon
Danis, yeah.
Who's getting sued. I don't see in any facet how KSI wins that fight. His build-up for this has been atrocious. Him doing this weird, like, WWE, like, my soul, I will die. What? What? Yeah, the other names I don't like. Salt Papi, Slim.
By the way, Salt Papi, he's a Filipino dude. He's awesome to watch. He's
YouTuber?
a badass. He does YouTube, yeah. He's
awesome to watch him.
He's like a chubby. He knocks people out. He gets
yeah?
he gets messed up too, but he's a fun guy to watch.
King Kenny, Dean the Great.
Your T-Rex guy. T-Rex
Shit, he's
Anthony
back
Taylor,
on.
yeah.
Good for him against King Kenny. Hell yeah. Interesting. Yeah, these things are tough to get into. It's tough.
I know.
It's tough. It's tough. It's very tough. I'm excited for it though. It's something to watch.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't. You can listen to me, or you can listen to that breakdown that I think was on DAZN. But for actual fight picks, and I don't know if they're breaking this down, but I lean towards Fantasy Guru. The NFL season's popping. Don't bet on my Broncos. Sure as heck, don't bet on Dallas Cowboys. Niners, Dolphins, Phillies, probably your best bets there. You have UFC Fight Night coming up, and then you have the magnitude of big fights in the UFC coming up. I'm waving the white flag. Make these picks is too tough, so I partnered with Fantasy Guru. These are actual experts. They give real breakdowns, help you with your fantasy football teams. legit experts. Just go to fancyguru.com. That's fancyguru, GURU.com. Use the code Schaub for 20% off. That's fancyguru.com. Use the code Schaub for 20% off for legit picks of NFL, UFC, MLB. You got the playoffs popping right now. The Rangers are Texas Rangers are kicking butt. I like Philly over Atlanta. Hopefully, Dodgers looked atrocious. Either way, go to fancyguru.com. Promo code is Schaub for 20% off. And also, any show you listen to me do, you know I'm on that kratom. We're talking about Happy Hippo. It's the only kratom that I trust. I got my taffy here. That is the Mocha Taffy, some of my favorites. They got K-Dips, the first ever to market, Kratom K-Dips. It's like the nicotine pouches, but filled with Kratom. It's fantastic. There's Wintergreen, the Razzle Dazzle. I think that fell on the floor. We got the Kratom Energy Shots, 50 milligrams of highly concentrated Kratom straight into your brain. We got it all, powders, gummies, taffies, pills, whatever, however you want to get your Kratom from the best ever do it in the business. Use Happy Hippo. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is Thiccc23. That's Thick with 3 C's. You can use that as many times you want. Share with a friend, your Uber driver, your Postmates, whoever you want. That's happyhippo.com. Promo code is Thick with 3 C's.
3 C's.
23. Thick23, 3 C's. 20% off for life.
All right, so over the weekend also was one championship. Ton Lee, who
that youngster too.
the youngster, yeah, for sure.
Kid's 16.
He's 16. He won his fight by knockout. I don't know if we can play it, or I'll just
we can play it.
Okay, cool.
This is crazy. I turn 17 next month. I guess I have a one championship contract before I even have my driver's license. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
16. That's insane,
His knockout
dude.
was filthy.
Yeah. And here's his knockout right here. He's getting hit, and then, bam.
Boom!
Johan Ghazali. Insane, yeah.
Johan, they call him JoJo, doing work.
And Ton Lee, he submission heel hooked. He trains with Ryan Hall.
Yep.
And boom, he got that right away.
Yep. Mikey Mushimeshi doing
Yep,
the damn thing.
of course, dude.
Achilles. Yep. He had a little bit of a weight issue, too, going in, right? He didn't make weight the first time.
Was it Mikey or who?
Yeah, Mikey, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
He was sick, yeah. Yeah, he has something going on with him.
And he always has I always see him with a dark black. I don't know if that's part of his.
Probably from tapping hoes out.
I don't know. And Tawan Chai, who I was huge on, I really thought I thought he lost that fight, but
Really?
he won with the judges. Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey got it done again. The legend of Mikey continues. Pizza and jiu-jitsu, that's what
He's
we
insanely good. Yeah.
do. Aoki just,
I mean, that's his
he
thing
didn't
too,
look
grappling.
bad. Yeah, I know.
But
But
yeah.
that's also Mikey's thing.
Yeah.
One championship doing the damn thing on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Well, there's a bunch of different things that came out in the headlines, even though we talked about Logan and Dillon. So Dillon, people were saying that he's bailing from the fight, but then he's like, no, I'm just joking. Logan recently went on a podcast with Jake Paul saying that he messed up his wrist, broke his wrist.
Yeah, he broke his wrist.
Yeah, like recently too.
Jake also said he's only traded once a week.
Yeah.
Which
Anyway, but they're both going to be fighting apparently this weekend, so hopefully
think they
it really
fight.
goes through. Yeah.
I think they fight. I think there's some shenanigans go on inside that ring.
It'll be fun. I'm more excited to watch it now to see if something does happen like that. So Damon Martin, who's a very legit,
As legit as they get.
MMA journalist, he
MMA
did post
Weekly.
this a few days ago, saying that as of the last UFC USADA update on September 28, Conor McGregor hasn't been tested for for USADA, but Dana White said that even though he hasn't been tested, it's not like all the way through yet, but he did submit paperwork, so he's in the process of getting into USADA again.
Just because you're tested doesn't mean it starts then.
Yeah.
As long as you're in the pool and they have the ability to test you, that's when it starts. So
Yeah.
it sounds like Conor's in.
So at least the paperwork's in.
For
So.
UFC 300. And Chandler just waiting, huh?
And he's training do you see his posts on Instagram? He's constantly
Him
training.
and Conor just completely different.
You know, Connor's partying, Chandler's training. But at least the paperwork's going through, so
I'll take it.
closer, yeah. All right. Let's look at this one was a little interesting. So this is Chatri saying that the UFC has mediocre striking. right? And then Jon Jones replied to that. And we can play this clip, right? If it's Chatri.
Yes.
All right.
A D1 college wrestler, 7-0 in,
Let me refresh this real quick.
let's say, the UFC is very sloppy, mediocre-ish striking because they're not strikers. You know, a typical UFC fighter is a D1 college wrestler, 7-0 in, you know, the minor leagues, and then they do a little bit of striking and then they enter the UFC. And all these are world champions before they arrive, and they're already multiple world champions at their peak of their career when they arrive. If you look at our roster, I think UFC has about 700 athletes, and so do we.
Since there's music in the background, I'm a little worried. So anyways, he's saying that you got the point pretty much, right?
Yeah, I don't think, as far as John saying stay in your lane, he is staying in his lane. That's what makes him different than the UFC. All he's saying is we're different. Yeah, the UFC, they get these D1 wrestlers, and they toss them in the UFC, and they develop striking. We get world-class strikers right off the bat, and then they develop into MMA fighters. That's how we're different. He's not lying. They have more world champion strikers than the UFC. That's what makes them different. That's all he's saying. Stay in your lane. Chachi's going, yeah, no, we are. We are. Yeah, what I'm saying is that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to keep signing world-class strikers while the UFC is signing Division I wrestlers and guys, you know, who are not the best strikers in the world, and they develop them into stars. But what we do is different. We look for these world-class strikers, develop them in one championship into mixed martial artists.
Yeah, and also they have the, you know, Muay Thai, kickboxing,
And then
all
they
these
also
different
offer
ones,
just striking,
Yeah, exactly,
just Muay Thai. So it's stay in your lane. He's like, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how we're different.
And that last card was insane.
Insane. Yeah, the product's
striking was
fantastic.
amazing, yeah.
I don't think it makes him sound like a hater. Then John gets on and goes, bro, this doesn't make anybody want to watch your show anymore. I disagree. You just sound like a hater. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Stay in your lane and do the best you can. Without the UFC, there would be no one. Yeah, yes and no. I don't think – I think this is exactly what John's saying. He's staying in his lane. Going, this is how we're different. This is how we're staying in our lane. We look for this. The UFC looks for that. They do it well. We do it well. Everybody's winning here. Again, the better one championship does, the better for UFC fighters. Yeah. The better UFC does, the better for one championship. There's not this world where they can't coexist.
Yeah, competition's definitely better for everyone.
But Chachi's not saying anything out of line here. He says the UFC has very sloppy, mediocre striking. Yeah. At a certain level, yeah.
Some levels.
Some no. Like Izzy's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Strickland's ridiculous. Francis was crazy. Overeem, one of the best strikers that ever compete inside a fucking cage.
Yeah.
So they do have some world champions. But to Chatri's point, there's a lot of guys that don't have world-class striking who are in the top 5. That's fine. It's just different. One championship does something different. UFC does something different. They're both crushing it. Yeah. I don't think it's hating. I think you just point out what makes them different.
Yeah. Speaking of Jon Jones, this is interesting. This is from Freak MMA. I guess Jon Jones and Paulo Costa, both of them in 2023, have been tested a combined 54 times by USADA. Which,
is that
if
crazy?
Those two, what?
Is that crazy?
Yeah, 54 times is kind of, but I mean, of all people, since Jon did mess up, Costa did mess up with like an IV or something too. Yeah. So yeah, that's good.
Here's what's interesting about Costa, and he's fighting Hamzat pretty soon here, the end of October 23rd, in Abu Dhabi. Is it 21st? The Saturday, right? He just announced he had surgery like 3 weeks ago on his elbow for staph, which not the end of the world. It's not like ligament damage where he's going to be compromised and have one arm, but the note there should be that when you do have surgery if the staph is that bad, they got to cut it out. That means it's awful. That means you're on antibiotics, which zap your cardio, destroy your cardio. So there's no training. You can train, but it's going to be a nightmare. You've seen guys, like Hodge Gracie, remember he fought in the UFC, and we're like, what's wrong with him? He was on antibiotics. Antibiotics zap your cardio worse than anything. You'd rather have the flu. You'd rather have COVID than fight with antibiotics. So for him being in there, that's at least a week off of training. And then you get back to it in your antibiotics, it's going to be a problem. And he needs all the help he can get to beat Hamzat. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Him without this, it's going to be a tough task to beat Hamzat. He can definitely do it, has a skill set to do it. It's an old school vintage Paulo Costa, who I'm a huge fan of. But That's a tough task to beat Khamzat.
Yeah. This is a long video, but
That
you
boy's
do
bodied
kind of
up.
he's bodied up, yeah. But you eventually see his elbow, and you see like a ton of stitches right there. See it?
Yeah.
That looks pretty damn crazy.
Yeah. It must have been really bad for them to cut into it.
Yeah.
Go in there. Not the
Alrighty.
best news if you're a Paulo Costa fan and you think he's going to beat Khamzat. And you want to bet on it? That's tough.
Yeah. All right, so this is what is in the headlines. So UFC is trying to get Merab Dvalishvili to fight Henry
Yeah, I love
Cejudo.
this.
So
I
Henry
love
Cejudo said he already signed or he's good to go, but they're waiting on Merab. But Merab obviously wants to fight for the championship. So
But Merab's not going to. The UFC's not going to award him that. So this is the next best thing. Merab
Yeah, I
versus
think it's an
Henry Cejudo is
amazing
great.
fight.
And if Merab beats Cejudo, which it's going to be interesting. If Merab does beat Cejudo, then there's no denying him a title shot. Mm-hmm. I love that.
without a
fight for him.
doubt. I mean, even right now, but yeah. And I think we announced this before, but so Kelvin Gastelum is fighting Sean Brady, and Sean doesn't care if Kelvin misses weight because Kelvin does sometimes miss weight. He's like he'll just take 30% of his purse. He's cool with it.
I don't think Kelvin's
going
going to
through.
miss weight, though.
He seems like he's
seems
on
on
point
it,
right
yeah.
now. Yeah. So yeah.
I just saw him when I was doing shows in Arizona.
He was at your show, yeah. He was awesome, dude.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah. So Derek Brunson, remember he's no longer with the UFC.
They just cut him like that. And I thought it was them releasing for him to fight Jake Paul.
Yeah. Okay,
But
yeah.
even in PFL, he can still do that. So this isn't like just because it's announced.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
he's
Jake
fighting
Paul is
Ray
part of-
Cooper. PFL's part of Jake Paul's camp, so
Yeah.
that could still happen.
Yeah, so Derek Brunson will be fighting Ray Cooper the third, which is a pretty tough fight too. But yeah, that's gonna be cool. Friday, November 24th.
Let's go, Brunson.
PFL. All right. So Bobby Green recently was on the same podcast, the Jackson with Rampage Jackson, the Jackson whatever jewelry place. They do podcasts, and then Bobby Green said that he saw videos of something about Islam Makhachev, doing drugs, like basically PEDs, and he's accusing.
And where did he see it?
I don't know. He just said he saw some videos. I didn't see the proof of it, but he said Khabib and
No.
Islam are both were on stuff.
I mean, it's not far-fetched to think Russians would do that stuff. They have a pretty extensive history of doing that. But he said, I found this little video that said Islam had a little trouble with drugs, but I don't see people talking about him. He was saying that when he first came over, that his school that he trained at in Russia, they just gave him vitamins. They've been doing this since who knows when. You start training. Imagine if you give someone steroids from age 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, how strong you would be or how it would mess up your growth. But people are like, he was really strong. It makes sense now. These two people that I've moved around with, I was like, that's interesting. I've moved around with thousands of guys. That was interesting. I told my coach, there's something interesting about Islam. I felt it. That's just not human. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd need to see that video.
Yeah. And then this is Khabib responding to him.
Lawsuit. Logan's team's like, sue him. However, this accusation of King didn't sit well with noted retired UFC icon Khabib. Most fans know that the EU is the mentor of the current Dagestani lightweight champ. So what'd he say?
I had here, but basically he just said it's just him putting in the work.
He goes, there's nothing wrong with giving power to a champion, whether you like it or not, but it's not given to everyone. For this, you need brains, preferably not from straw. Okay.
I don't know. It's the translation is the tough part too.
Yeah, with Bobby, I don't know if that's the way to go. I don't know what video he's seen, though, but it's tough. And who knows? Maybe that video shows something, and Bobby might think it's real, but it might not. Maybe it's legit vitamins. Who knows?
Russian vitamins. So Gamebred Bare Knuckle, he's going pretty hard. He has a bunch of different UFC fighters, past UFC fighters, on the next card. Obviously, Alan Belcher,
Roy
right?
Nelson.
Randy Costa, who used to be from the UFC as well. Brandon Davis, Jason Knight, Hick Diaz, and a bunch of others. It's not loading up though. Curtis Millender, of course, Roy, and this guy, Alex Nicholson. Do you remember this guy?
Yeah, I do.
He proposed to his girl while he was weighing in, and then he fought Misha Sukhanov, and then he got his jaw broken at that fight. He
It's
lost.
a tough night in the office.
Yeah. I don't want to get into this because it's kind of too much, but let's go. Oh, so we talked about Alistair Overeem retiring. He says he's going to retire, but now he's actually going for he's going to run for office in Dutch politics.
That's cool. Oh, damn.
House of Representatives. Yeah.
I assume he wins because it's basically a popularity vote.
Yeah, we shall see.
I don't know his politics. Oh, he's lost so much weight. Why is that politician bigger than Overeem?
I'll show you. I'm going to play this.
Oh, is he on a box?
Yeah, you guessed it. I don't want to play the music because it's like the Rocky theme, but yeah, he's on a box. Yeah. Yeah, Alistair's tall as hell. So good for him. Your boy TJ Dillashaw, because of his shoulder surgery.
He looks like a villain from Marvel.
Yeah. So he has to wait like another 4 weeks or 6 weeks for it to heal. And he's like, he can only do sponge baths. So he's like, screw it. It's too much trouble to wash my hair. So he shaved his whole head.
I mean, he looks pretty good doing it. He looks like a badass.
Yeah.
He's using some device.
It's like, I think, what do you call that?
2 weeks post-op, shoulder surgery, full-blown shoulder replacement.
Damn.
Stuck in this gunslinger brace. It's like a cartoon. And they had the cast with like the broomstick holding up their arm. Is pretty much what I have going on. But I got to wear this thing for another 4 weeks. No showers. Just sponge bathing, so it was a pain in the butt to wash the hair, so I decided to cut it all off. What do you guys think?
He just sleeps like this.
He does look pretty badass, though.
He does.
With a shaved head.
Looks tough.
Yeah.
It looks good on him. Callan needs to see this.
Yeah, if you have a shaved head, I think you need to grow like...
You have to have a beard.
Yeah, something
you
like
gotta do it
facial
Dagestani
hair.
style. Yeah, you got to be Dagestani with that.
All right. This is just a small thing. Jake Paul apparently is in the... This is from Dave Meltzer. So it was legit, you know.
Dave's as legit as he gets.
So I guess there are early talks with Matt Riddle because Matt Riddle's leaving.
Matt Riddle's an interesting one. Matt Riddle doesn't get talked about enough. Like, you're talking about a guy who had an issue with the UFC, leaves.
Yeah.
Goes over and wasn't a huge name in the UFC.
No, he wasn't.
Not at all.
No.
He was on The Ultimate Fighter. Leaves the UFC, right? Has issues with Dana and the way it was structured. Leaves, goes to the WWE and becomes a superstar in the WWE. Then leaves the WWE, and now he could possibly get a fight with Jake Paul. The guy doesn't get enough shine. Like, there's very few guys who leave the UFC and go on to have big careers.
Especially with not a huge name.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's how talented that kid is.
Yeah.
Look at him. Dime piece, too, dude. Let's not get it twisted here.
Wow.
So he fought in Titan. Shout out to Lex.
2014. I didn't know it was that long ago.
Oh, yeah. It's been hot.
Damn.
He's been in WWE for a while. Because he was kind of newer. He's one of those victims of, again, you better be ready to go when you get to the UFC. So for him, you know, it was a learning curve there. But then he just dips out and goes, I'm going to do WWE. Becomes a massive star in WWE. Gets way more notoriety and fame from WWE. Bounces for WWE. Now he's talking about Jake Paul fight. Jake Paul's like, hell yeah, dude. Matt Riddle, it's a huge, and the crossover, obviously Logan Paul has the WWE fan base, so it's there.
Great
Matt
timing,
Riddle
yeah.
has the fan base.
Good on Matt Riddle, man.
Hell yeah. Do work, young man. Shine on.
All right, if you've seen the last UFC, people started bringing in flags again, and Dana White said, like, it's over. The ban on flags.
Who started bringing the fighters?
Fighters, yeah, fighters.
Did they really?
Yeah, I saw. I think at least one flag for sure. But yeah, so you know, there's a ban for a while because of the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. But now Dana White's like, screw this. I don't care.
You're gonna get a lot of flags.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Instagram goes, what if someone brings out a flag that says Power Slap League sucks? Is he gonna be cool with that?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. They're back. Oh, so I don't know. This is a small one, but Charlo versus Canelo is supposed to be like the third highest pay-per-view.
What's the highest?
It was like 750,000.
That's not bad.
Or
That's
700,000.
That's all Canelo. That's how big he is.
Oh, so behind Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury.
Jake Paul, Tommy Fury.
How
good
crazy
for
is
them.
that, dude?
Good for them.
Wow.
Tank Ryan Garcia #1 though, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Another quick one. Jake Shields. Remember he had a scuffle with Mike Jackson at the PI, so there's a warrant issued out for his arrest right now.
Again, why don't they just fight? First rule of Fight Club, you don't sue, dude. If it's possible that you can fight each other and you both have backgrounds in mixed martial arts, you don't sue, dude.
I know.
You fight each other. That's how it's old school, man. Forget the lawyers. Forget who has the best lawyer. Fight each other. Physically hurt each other. Not
And end it.
financially. Yeah, just fight and then shake hands like fighters do, hug each other, but good fight, man, move on. This is stupid. What else you got?
This is the last one. I just saw
Man,
this.
Fury got some love.
I'm looking at his-
You know how like OnlyFans girls, all the weight goes to their ass and titties? Yeah. For Fury, goes straight to his love handles.
And like this one's like, oh, I don't know. And he has some nipples on him too.
Yeah, man, he has some tits.
It's just like what he's wearing is just such a trip to me. I don't know. Anyway,
Rampage said, but why y'all put him in a tank top though? Why did they put him in a tank top?
I don't know.
Put him in a baggy black shirt, man.
and it's so tight. It's like so
it's a
tight.
disaster. Still the most skilled boxer on the planet with
Yeah.
that body. Shout out to him. Dude, did you
Absolute
see
badass.
the trailer for Francis Fury? Ooh,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's good. Ooh, it's tasty. Best fight promo in how long?
I don't know.
Probably since a McGregor fight, like a big McGregor fight build up. The Khabib Conor build up was fantastic. The Fury Francis one, ooh, it's good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I don't
it's
think we
nice.
can play it. I'm
No,
too
we
scared.
can't.
Yeah, but
we'll get banned. But
Yeah.
yeah,
but it's pretty.
it's
dope.
so
Yeah.
well done, highly produced, well done.
You can find it online anywhere.
Yeah, I
Google
mean,
it.
if you're alive, you can find it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, dude.
Is that it?
We've got a
You got
a fight.
a bad fight night. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
The Logan Paul Dillon Danis fight's gonna get more views than this.
It's so funny you say Logan Paul, Dillon Danis when it's actually KSI. KSI.
Oh, no one cares about that.
I know, it's so
Yeah,
funny,
no,
dude.
No. Yeah. It's not even that I dislike KSI. I'm just talking about
No,
in
the
our
biggest-
world,
yeah, the
the
biggest
Logan
names.
Paul, Dillon Danis. Because Dillon Danis is, part of the MMA community. So in our world, it's definitely Dillon Danis,
Yeah.
Logan Paul. They have KSI, Tommy Fury. And that's on DAZN. I'm surprised they're still around. But, yeah, they're still doing the damn thing.
Oh,
And
we
that-
also-
I think that card's on at noon. It starts at noon Pacific time. I think KSI
Dillon Danis?
posted it. Yeah. The card starts at noon. I think they walk at like 2 or 3.
7 p.m. UK, so 2 p.m. Eastern here.
The main
That's
card
early.
is set to get underway at 2 p.m. Eastern. So that's 11 a.m. here, with a main event scheduled at 6:25 Eastern. So that'd be 3:25 here. So yeah, figure Logan them probably fight at 2 p.m. here, Pacific time.
That's pretty cool. Are we gonna do anything or no?
We could.
All right, we'll see.
It's tough getting the boys to
I know.
rally.
I know,
Everyone-
but early sounds good though.
Everyone has stuff to do. We'll talk to Brian.
Okay.
If we get Brian, maybe Tripoli, that'd be a fun
That'd
one.
be dope. Yeah,
And just do it for the main event and co-main event.
sounds good
Like
to
an
me.
hour-long companion. I'll figure it out. We'll try and make it work. My friends suck. Dude.
We'll see.
Brian would be like, oh, I got surf lessons. You're like, you don't even surf. I know. I met this guy, and he was in the Navy, man, and you should see his quads. And I'm like, what? All right. Is that it?
A couple fan questions. Is that cool?
Sure.
I will do like 3. So Metal Sonic is asking, what are you gonna be for Halloween this year?
That's a good question.
All right.
Not the French robot like I should be when I was a kid giving out croissants. Basti really wants to be a zombie, so I'll probably be a zombie with him, I assume.
Cool.
Probably a zombie.
Nice. All right. So WW Dash is asking, is it true you gave Dylan's location when Paul drive-by'd him? The drive-by?
They're talking about when we were at Showtime and
Yeah.
Dillon Danis on the show. No, the Paul brothers, they've both been on the show, so they knew our location. And I posted Dillon was coming in, and Jake texted me and said, hey, we might stop by. And I'm not from their world, like that YouTuber. To me, that doesn't mean stop by and like cause mayhem.
Yeah.
And I told Dillon, I said, hey, I got a text from Jake. He said he might come by. And Dillon's like, good. Hell, he goes, I'm telling you though, man, you better get me. I'm going to fuck that dude up. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, no. I didn't.
With bad knees or bad knees.
He had a horrible, yeah, he can't even run.
Yeah.
And they came by and they threw water balloons. And Dillon still tried choking them out. Wild boys. Just that YouTube world is wild, dude. Those influencers is wild. You came by on like this F450, this giant lifted truck at the time. I wish he would have stopped so I could peep out that truck. But no, he didn't get like set up or nothing.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
No,
obviously.
Dillon knew that there's a chance. Jake, we didn't know what he's gonna do. I didn't know what he was gonna do. That's some wild shit.
That was a good like viral moment too.
Yeah.
All right, so
If Georgie's listen, definitely post that.
yeah, Georgie, post that. Last one is from Chauncey _. Is Paulo Costa guaranteed a title shot even after a year layoff if he beats Khamzat?
Yep. 100%. Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you go.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, kids. Friday, I'm off to Sacramento to Overkill to pick up my truck. We'll have some sick-ass content for you around the truck. And then I'm in Niagara Falls, New York, November 4th and 5th. One show Friday, one show Saturday. That's in Niagara Falls, New York. And Brett Forte, the most hated comic in Canada. The kid, he's a wild boy, but he's going to be joining me in Niagara Falls, New York. I'm in Chicago, December 8th through the 9th. A bunch of other shows coming up, so that's it, kids. All right? But Niagara, I will see you November 4th and 5th. Sacramento, Overkill, I'm coming to get my truck. We'll have some cool content for you guys, all right? Be nice to each other. See you guys later. I'm out.